Waiting for it to say that I am live. And we are live. Good morning, everyone. It has been a while. We have pushed off today's broadcast by a week because I had COVID, and apparently so did Kim last week. So we are all dealing with this, and we're going to get through it. But in the meantime, good morning. And so I wanted to introduce you all. Let me do a brief intro. I'm waiting for Carolina. Hopefully she comes. If not, we'll have to handle this without her. But my name is Christine von Reisfeld. I'm founder, CEO of a small nonprofit that you all know by now, People with Empathy. And one of the things that I have been doing the past few years is really going out, talking to companies, finding out what people are doing really with the patient in mind. And being in Silicon Valley, I have had an opportunity to speak with many different companies on ideas, and some I like and some I don't. But as a patient, I feel like we don't have the opportunity really to see these companies and how they're built and what they're going through and the struggles sometimes that they face. And so some of these companies, I think, can be a great benefit to our patient communities, not just one specific disease space, but patients in general. And so I'm bringing you a series of some of these companies, right? We'll talk to them. We'll take a half an hour every 2 weeks to really dive into what they're doing and why. And then I have a few investors out there that are also tuned into my page. So hopefully you catch this and see some of the companies that I like as well. So this morning we are speaking with Noor and Kim and Yana. And Noor is with TeleMedivX. And I don't know if you've seen them online yet, but we put a link up to their page, and I would suggest that you check that out. And Noor, why don't you give me a brief intro? Actually, first, let's introduce each other. So Noor, tell us a little bit about you, and then Kim, we'll go to you, and then Yana. So Noor, take it away.
Awesome. Good morning. Thank you, Christine. Hi, Kim. Hi, Yana. Um, about myself, well, I founded and started TeleMedivX, telehealth first, started as a telehealth software, and then we pivoted into the patient referrals um, with the mind that since I started TeleMedivX, want to use technology to enable patients get faster access to specialty care. That came after a sport accident in France, uh, flying, and the access to care was fantastic, super fast, resulted in like full recovery for me, where I've seen it with multiple of my friends now here in the US. The access to care is slower than it should be. For it can be improved with like simple things like automations, and there is no good reason for doctors not to use technology to make access to care for their patients faster, because the more the patient is waiting, the more pain they are, the less likely they will fully recover. It's very painful for the patient to wait for a referral and then ending up waiting weeks, maybe months, and it's a wrong referral. That kills me to see it, and still the case. So that's in short about me. I'm an athlete, and I had that accident, and then decided, okay, well, I will fix it. Let's start this startup and bring technology to healthcare.
And Nora, really quick before I go to you, Kim, we are addressing the referral process when it comes to a patient who has any type of condition and goes in to get a referral, right? And Kim, I'll let you, when you introduce yourself, can you also touch on that referral process for those who may not know it, who may be listening, and kind of touch on that problem as well, and your name, what you do, and if you can touch on that.
Sure. Oh, you want me to go now?
Oh, yeah, go for it.
Oh my goodness, it's later here than it is for you. Later here for me than it is for you, and I don't know if I'm really awake yet. So
it's okay. Don't worry about it. None of us are ever really awake, if you want to go that way.
Right. I'll think of it that way. Okay, you're very kind. Okay, my name is Kim Sullen. I am currently the VP of Sales and Business Development for TeleMedivX, and most recently overseeing now the operations, the daily operations of the organization. As Nora mentioned, we are an IT healthcare startup located in Hawaii, and we are focusing, our platform does focus on specifically the referral process. A little bit about my background. I have a degree in nutrition. I reside in Cleveland, Ohio, mother of 3 grown children, well, almost grown children. And I have made an extensive career in sales, amongst other things. So pharmaceutical sales, consumer products, and now most recently, healthcare IT, which actually I find very exciting. I like the fact that, as you know, healthcare IT is a huge growing industry, and it can really help patients much faster than traditional healthcare has in the past. So with that, we are focusing specifically on the referral process. And one of the big challenges traditionally, as you know, and as Yana knows as well, is especially here in the States, is a lot of times getting to see a physician once you've been diagnosed with something. Getting to see a specialist can be cumbersome, especially if you are in an area that may be more rural, or if you have a disease, or if you have something that maybe your primary care physician doesn't quite know what to do with, right? So sometimes you get referred out, and the referral takes forever because the traditional mechanisms for referrals has always been more manual in nature, right? So,
Fax, right? Don't we still use fax?
yes, people are still using fax, which it blows my mind. And in some areas, in spite of the fact that there's been a mandate by the US government under the Obama administration to basically put everyone's healthcare data and information in an electronic format, there are still some areas of the nation that really aren't up to snuff on that. They don't know where to start. They don't know what to do. So subsequently, those physicians, medical specialists, they're not part of large hospital organizations or systems that are in private practice, again, more in remote areas of the United States, whatever. It's cumbersome for them, and it's a process that is very manual and lengthy for the patient. So what we are doing is we are helping automate that process.
And isn't that funny that we're in 2022 and some of these things haven't been automated yet?
Right, exactly. There are physicians that are still using paper for the patients, to record the patients. So be that as it may, there have been significant advances, obviously, in the referral process, and how physicians talk to their patients and how physicians talk to each other, et cetera, right? But there is still there's still a lot of room for improvement. So, nearly half of all referrals are not completed. So if you're a patient and you've been referred out to a physician, half of the time you never get to see that medical specialist for whatever the reason may be, right? It's sitting there. There's it's
Coordination.
Care coordination can be very cumbersome, even with all of the technology that is out there. So we are really focusing on helping to automate and streamline that in particular. And one thing that we are really focusing on, again, with the independent and private medical specialists, is once we're helping the primary care physician get the information, the referral over to the medical specialist, right? Everything's electronic, online. And then once that referral gets to the medical specialist is alerted, and the PCP and the medical specialist actually can have a conversation. So that's what's that known, Nora, as an asynchronous visit, correct? So the medical specialist and the PCP can actually have a conversation, right? The medical specialist can take a look at the patient's information and have a conversation with their primary care physician and make a decision right on the spot, right? Okay, I need to see this patient right away. Or, you know what, primary care physician, this is what I recommend, blah, 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 blah. So the unique feature of our particular platform is after 14 days, if the patient has not been seen by the medical specialist, that particular, it's not a referral, it's an asynchronous visit, right? So our platform automatically bills the insurance provider, it's coded as an asynchronous visit, and both medical practitioners get reimbursed for that, because it's a consult, right? It's a consult. They took their time to meet with each other and consult on that patient. That's an asynchronous visit. And what we're finding in the industry is not only does it speed up the patient getting the care that they need, but the benefit of that is that the physicians get reimbursed automatically. So this is just a bonus. This is just a bonus that the physicians are capturing not referral dollars, excuse me, but reimbursement dollars that they're ordinarily not even thinking about. So this is something that, again, this is very high level, and we can, if anybody's interested, they can certainly contact us and we can take them through that, provide a demo, and speak a little bit more to the particulars. But the whole point is our platform is focusing on that referral process, streamlining it through automation and technology. And there's some benefits in the fact that we are really focusing on that asynchronous visit and automating that as well. So again, the benefit is, number one, the patient gets to either see a medical specialist faster or is receiving care from their primary care physician in consult with a medical specialist much quicker than they ordinarily would via the old way. So that's, again,
no, great, Kim. And I actually got disconnected from my computer, so I switched over to my phone. But thank you for that. And I see a couple of people have joined us, and again, anyone that wants to ask comments, questions, please throw them in the chat there. Hi, Tina. Hi, Mona. And we also have Yana here online too. And the reason that Yana, she's off screen today because she just came back from a vacation, and we're all not camera ready all the time. But she's a patient as well and has gone through some of the struggles with the referral process. So I kind of wanted to bring in that perspective as well. I've had my own issues with referrals, but we don't need to talk about mine because I'm not the only person. So Yana, can you hear us, and are you there?
Yes, I am here.
So do you want to talk to us? I mean, I know you and Noor have a relationship here, and really, he knows the struggles that you've been going through. Do you want to tell us a little bit about your journey and why you're interested in what TeleMedix is doing from your standpoint?
Okay, so recently, well, it's been months. It's been like 3 months. So I started experiencing some health issues. So I went to my primary doctor, but the referral process was very, very slow. It took months to be diagnosed. And basically get any scannings or anything. The process was super, super long, and wait for a specialist. Sometimes they would be telling me to wait 2 months to actually meet with a specialist. And which was very frustrating during the time being in a pain. It's definitely not something that we want to be experiencing. We want to get the help as fast as possible to get back into normal life, and it was just not happening.
And how long did it take you to actually get to your specialist and get your care, get the care or part of the care that you needed?
Well, I had to see multiple specialists because it was not really clear what the problem was. It was more complex problem. So the first specialist, it took over a month to actually meet with the specialist, and the second one, it was almost 2 months.
Wow.
It was a very long time.
You're on mute. You're on mute. Yeah.
Somehow I'm in two studios.
Yeah, there's a little bit of feedback. I think maybe you just.
Okay. Let me see if this is working.
Yeah, there is an echo.
The echo stopped, but now we can't see Christine. And now she's gone.
Yeah.
So actually, Yana, I have a question because this is the first time I've met you. Do you feel, I mean, did at any time, sorry, I just jumped in because you dropped. So I'm interviewing Yana now. I hope you don't mind. Do you feel at any time or at any time, do you know if your primary care physician consulted with a medical specialist and talked to those, they had a conversation about your case um, before making a referral? I mean, do you know if your primary care physician actually consulted with any medical specialist about your case before making a referral for you? Or was this just one of those things where they didn't quite know what was wrong, and so they're like, well, I think you need to see this guy, or I think you need to see this physician. Do you have any, do you know? Or
Yes, that's basically how it went. It was not really clear where the problem was.
okay.
So I was sent to multiple specialists, but my primary doctor never spoke with any of them.
Hmm.
And even currently, I have two specialists because the issue is more complex.
Mhm.
And even those two specialists are, for some reason, not able to communicate together.
And see, so that right there, Christine, really does point out the crux of a lot of the problems with patients getting fast quality care is even the physicians don't speak together. They don't speak directly with one another. So they don't really take advantage of the opportunity of that asynchronous visit that's out there. And so our platform makes it easier for them to do that. Right. So in situations like Yana, um, her primary care physician could have really spoken with both of her medical specialists. All three of them could have had a conference via our platform very easily, discussed her case, came up with, a care plan, right? And then boom, it would have either been a referral or an asynchronous visit. Either way, the physicians would have also gotten reimbursed. So again, I don't want to make that necessarily reimbursement like the biggest thing. The biggest thing is that patients are getting seen faster.
And I love that because I think, especially in these disease spaces where we have diseases that could progress,
Right.
as we wait for a physician, we are losing an opportunity to really tackle that problem when it happens.
Right.
And it really does affect the quality of care and the quality of life for a patient as we wait.
Right.
And Yana, thank you for sharing that. I'm hoping that you have the specialist that you need now. Are you still able to, or are you still having problems
Um,
if other things arise?
I mean, it became more clear what the problem is, but there is still an issue that the two specialists are still not able to communicate together to kind of do a teamwork
Mhm.
to work on what the problem is.
And
And
we have a
I, I find and come up with a plan for the treatment.
Why
and
do you
we
think they're not?
yeah,
Like,
we
like
go ahead, Noor.
there is a phone. They can just call each other. Why do you think they're not doing that?
I am not sure. I know that one of the specialists tried to contact the other one, and it's been a month and they still haven't been able to get the phone call together.
Yeah, yeah,
So I do see that. So I see Estella has made the comment and the observation as well that one of the main problems really is lack of communication between providers and specialists. So again, we're trying to close that gap and provide an automated way or an easier way for the specialist and the provider to have those conversations again, so it benefits the patient faster. I mean, think about those patients that have cancer or really critical, like major disease states where something they can't afford to wait a month, they can't afford to wait 2 weeks if they're in pain like Yana was for a long time. That's just really it's really a problem. And so we're seeking to really help patients in that with that.
And Nor, we've got a question as well from Tina Tran. Hi, Tina. I owe you a phone call. But Tina's asking, what's the hurdle in both physicians' organizations adopting this technology that's supposed to streamline communication to help the patients? Do you want to, Kim or
It's
Nor,
I'll let Nor go first, and then
then you'll hop
yeah,
in,
we
Kim?
we we have our we know what it is, but go ahead, Nor.
so you cut off at the end of the question, but I think the question is what are the difficulties for health providers to utilize this innovative platform we came up with,
Yep.
right? Was the question.
Yeah.
Um,
So what's the hurdle in that you see as
the Probably the biggest one is their concern about integration with EMRs, exchange of information. So the good news, there is a standard protocol all EMRs follow, HL7, FHIR. So the integration is the biggest obstacle, but the programs we developed, we made it standalone, so no need to integrate with the EMR. And if it's critical for the facility that they are integrated, then we can do a customized work to integrate with their EMR, depending also on the EMR. But integration with EMR and other software is the biggest obstacle, I think. Otherwise, it's really simple. It's a web app. So something like, the specialist will get their login. It will be connected to their public website, just like contact us form on any website, but there will be a referral form on the website, secure, obviously, HIPAA compliance. And it's easy to use. The other entities, the PCP or other referring doctors, they don't need to have an account with us. Just the private specialist clinic is the customer, is the person who needs an account with TeleMedivX. The other referrings, they can still use fax. The platform will understand the regular fax, make it electronic, make it much easier for the front desk at specialist clinic to handle the referrals, and convert them to async consult, which is like think of it like a second channel. If a PCP refers a patient to a specialist, then the specialist will be able to see the referral details and be able to quickly, if it's something simple, can just solve with a suggestion, can reply to that referral in a micro consult. So probably in short, the biggest obstacle is integration with EMRs. That's currently the biggest obstacle.
and Kim, do you see any other obstacles or are you agreeing with Nora here?
Absolutely agree with Nor. That is a concern. So that's a concern among those physicians and those clinics and offices that are currently using and are very currently using technology and are pretty savvy. Again, most of them, a lot of them have to, they have EMRs. That was a federal mandate a while ago, but there are still some physicians, actually physicians in general, some of them are very conservative. There is a lot of times there's a hesitancy to adopt new technology or to adopt something new because number one, they're super busy, right? Like they don't have time to learn another platform. They don't have time to like figure out how it's going to be integrated with their current platforms and EMRs and all the other things that they're using. But in general, in some areas, there's just a general reluctance or hesitancy. I would say not reluctance, but hesitancy to adopt new technology until it's been out there for quite a while, right? So if you think about how physicians are trained, right, they're not just going to, take the newest. I used to be in pharmaceuticals, right? They're not just going to start writing scripts for the newest pharmaceutical or pill that's out on the market, right? Like a lot of them are going to be conservative and kind of just take a wait and see approach. So that can also be a bit of a hindrance to why physicians aren't adopting this, aren't maybe going to adopt this platform right away. So not quite sure. So, but I would say integration is number one. Number two, there's just the general hesitancy of adopting something new.
Issue and an obstacle that we come along, right? It's really what is going to work. And I think we're in a space where we have so many different companies coming into this and so many people and it's hard to really see what's going to work, and you don't want to take a chance with a patient. But I think this is really what you guys are doing is amazing, because even for me, I face obstacles, and everybody here knows I've got specialists that I don't want to use any bad words, but anyways, I've got lots of specialists, right? And my care has suffered waiting for my own care. And sometimes it's even just the fact that the specialist doesn't know what I'm seeing him for. We've got to wait for them to communicate. It's back and forth before I even get involved. And so a lot of these things, I love the asynchronous visit. I think that is something that should be done, right? I, as a kid, used to have my doctors sit at a table and discuss things together. And I kind of think as this as a virtual way for them to do that. And Nor, you started here in there in Hawaii, and there is a very specific and different need in Hawaii, which I think if it works in Hawaii, TeleMedivX would work great in rural areas where we're having the same sort of issues. Can either of you touch on some of the issues that they face in Hawaii, which would make this and why this is a great place for you guys to have started this?
Yeah, Hawaii is islands, So if you need to see a specialist, almost you're stuck with the option coming to the main island, Oahu. Um, so making that referral faster and correct, like you refer to the right specialist, can save the patient a flying trip, you know. Um, that makes it more important in Hawaii to have this platform to do the right referrals faster, avoid as many referrals if they can be solved by micro consult. Because that's, when you're traveling to another island, you need also a place to stay other than the airplane ticket, probably hotel and rent a car. Or imagine if all of that's headache, like 3 days or probably a week just to see a specialist. Boom, like 10 minutes solved. Awesome. If we can do that, so that's fantastic. And that's the goal. I see one of the comment about the fax capability is a great option for EHR. Yeah, it's a great point. And then handling these patient referrals and like being able to see these referrals um, high level, like from a platform like patient referral platform, in order to provide async consult is the unique part. I'm answering Estella comment. In addition to like why Hawaii is the first market to focus on to solve this not necessary trouble between islands, if we can minimize that.
And I love the fact I don't know if a lot of people are familiar with Hawaii, but it is those islands, right? And it's very hard to get care. They don't have a lot of specialists in any area that you may need on each of the islands, right? And so really getting to the right physician, that's something that you want to really tackle as well, right? Nora, is getting people to the right person when you need it, even if they may not be in that area. And I see Tina's comment where she could see a lot of nervousness around not integrating with EHRs. And so, Tina, I totally agree with you there. I know that we have come up to 9:30, and I said we'd keep it to half an hour so that our LinkedIn people can get back to work. But Nora, Kim, Yana, do any of you have anything to say in closing? And Nora, I want to say really quick, congratulations. Nora did with TeleMedivX win a HIMSS pitch
Yes.
competition that they had just recently. And so congratulations on that. If HIMSS is looking at you and but any other closing comments here? And again, and then at the end we'll tell people how to get a hold of you. But Nora, anything there?
Yeah. Um, we really need to make the patient referral faster, like telemedics or other than telemedics, whoever use. But please, if you're a doctor or a specialist, like I know you care about your patient. This is given. You spent years of your life studying medicine to treat patients. So now take extra step. Use technology. No need for fax. Like fax, paper, and the handwritten and phone calls. You know better than that. Like don't use outdated technology. Your patients are in pain. I've seen it. They're losing their legs. Amputation happening because of just facts. That's nonsense. Use technology. Your patient need to be connected faster, and it's easy. Contact us, TeleMedivX. We'll get you up and running in probably a day. If not us, just use at least use any patient referral platform. Stop using fax and manual phone calls. That's your patient is paying high tax for that. That's
Thank you, Noor. And
what.
Kim, any comments from you there?
I mean, I couldn't said it any better myself. Really, technology is not scary. Your patients, you know, I your patients really need this technology, any type of technology, just so that they can utilize what's out there. Don't be afraid. Yeah, and if anyone would like a demo or like to learn more, they can visit our website, www.telemedix.com. There's lots of information there, and you can, request additional information on top of that if you'd like. Just give us a shout.
And Kim, you can throw that in the comments as well. If you want to throw that in, if you want to type that in. And Yana, I want to say thank you for coming on and sharing with us your struggles. It's hard to talk about problems when we're facing them, but I think it's important for us all to hear these issues as we're moving forward so that we know, there are things that we can do. And Yana, I hope that you're getting the proper care now. Are you doing better? Are you starting to? Or do we need to find you a physician online right now?
I mean, I hope this very slow referral process is going to be fixed because it's really frustrating for the patients. And yeah, it's not really easy system here in the US to navigate through, especially when going through the issues. Um, so I hope it's going to be somehow in the future solved for, it's not me, so for other people.
I have the same thinking. And Nora and Kim and I had talked previously, and one of the things that we were talking about in conversation that came up was we shouldn't have to die waiting for a referral.
Mhm.
And I think that's something very important that we need to think about, that there are patients that are on the line. And as we uncover more and more diseases and get more into the future, we are going to have those patients that are struggling to find the right doctors, and to get into those specialists is getting very difficult. And so, Nora, I want to thank you for what you're doing and for really looking at this from other aspects that other people may not consider. And as we move into this strange new world of telehealth and telemedicine and digital, that we find these products and these companies that are truly, really going to make our lives easier and make our quality of life better by getting us to the right physicians sooner. And so, Kim and Noor, thank you. We're gonna leave this up on LinkedIn, and if you want to get a hold of Noor and Kim, we'll put some links down there. And
I couldn't figure out how to do it yet. Apparently, I need another cup of coffee because it's so
if
early.
you want to, yeah, don't worry about it, Kim. I will do it after this broadcast ends, and then we'll put a clip up and some clips and really just kind of really get you out there, because this is something that is really needed in our communities. And for those that aren't familiar with that referral process, it's shocking, right, to find out how this really works. And you don't want to find out that it's broken when you need a specialist. So hopefully we can get this all worked out in different ways that we can work together. And so thank you all. And Yana, I am wishing you the best as you continue on. And I'm here if you ever need anything. So,
Thank you so much.
all right. Well, thank you,
Everyone.
Nora, you, Kim. And again, questions, feel free to message them. And I will talk to you all soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Christine.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you, Christine.
All right.
Thanks.
Bye, guys.
Aloha. Bye.
I'm trying to end the broadcast. So hold on.